Hello. You're probably getting sick of seeing me on videos, alright? I'm challenging myself to a dance-a-thon. It's to help me keep fit. Yes, it probably looks like I'm being lazy. It's me getting used to dancing. I have to get my body used to dancing. And yes, sometimes I'm dancing really well. Other times I struggle and I have to sit down. Or it's just making sure I move to music. Sometimes I'm not in a good mood, which you've probably seen. It sounds odd. It's just like at the start, sometimes I'm like, oh, I want to dance. And then I think, right, put on a song. And then I express how I feel as opposed to what I'm thinking the song's about, because usually you express how you feel because of a song that's being a certain way. So if it's a good beat song, you think, oh, that's. But if you're not feeling like that in the moment, well, why aren't we expressing how we actually feel? So it's sort of a so yeah, everything I'm trying to do won't be the same. I'm gonna try sticking to new songs as opposed to already done songs because I'm trying to avoid copyright laws. I don't wanna, I don't wanna step on anyone's toes. I'm not trying to become the next Madonna. That's not what I'm saying. I'm literally doing this for charity and for my own health reasons. But I wanted to try and do something positive but at the same time that expresses not only my anxieties and depression, but also not like in an aggressive way. I just mean like as in the form of dancing, as in a way to express the things that you don't normally get to talk about or the things you can't always control. And sometimes I find dance is a better way to try and express them without necessarily attacking anyone, because you're getting to express how you feel both physically and emotionally without necessarily taking out on another person. And that to me is why I prefer dance when it comes to certain emotions. So if something comes on and I'm feeling angry, I am more likely to listen to something like heavy metal, hip hop, or something because they normally have words that relate to those issues somewhere. If it's where I want to just relax and chill out, I may listen to something a bit more mellowed and a bit more chilled. And but I don't want to, like sometimes listen to Lindsay Sterling, but she's got peaceful kind of music and she's quite upbeat in certain places. But then she's also got like with Hailstorm, she's got a Shatter Me, which I love that song. But again, I can't play those ones because I don't want to do copyright. I'm trying to avoid the copyright rules as best as I can because I don't want to be stopped from doing this. So um, so really, I'm just trying to try different songs that come out that are new and just sing. I won't mention the artist because I realise the artists themselves may still want to dance to it to how they wish to dance to it. So I'm not trying to copy them. I'm not trying to be them. I'm not trying to steal focus from what they're doing. If they have a different way of wanting to do it, that's still their right to do it. But I'm just gonna dance to whatever song comes up on my playlist from SoundCloud. So I'm doing SoundCloud, which is a music app dedicated for dancers. So I've learned I can't just go on YouTube or Spotify like I would usually do. I'm gonna have to go through the actual dance songs that come up, and normally dancers look for new songs because new songs you can dance to. But again, I'm not trying to steal focus from the people who are doing it professionally. I'm just trying to do this for charity, so I will do it for charity as I am doing it. I won't mention artists in the songs just in case they still want to do their own thing with it. So I will just be dancing to music that happens to come on. I might mention the style of music, so maybe it's hip hop, maybe it's a bit more mellow. I'll see what comes up, and I'll just try and just dance to either ones, And I'm going to stick to 20-minute segments, live segment videos, or starting from April the 4th. I'm trying not to bombard posts and stuff because I'm aware too much might be too much for people as well. So I'm trying to do a little bit here and there. But yeah, just so wanted to try and do things to support Fear Free, which is the charity that supports victims of abuse, domestic sexual violence. They offer counselling services for victims of abuse. Normally, it takes a while. It's a long waiting list after an incident, usually. depending on when you report it and how long it's been going on for. And of course, there's a lot of issues. There's for me, I'd say I'm lucky because I had 6 months wait. Most people don't get seen to. It depends on how long it takes. Sometimes people do get seen to, but it'll take a while because it depends on how. I think it depends on the not the severity, but the because there's a lot of people going through similar issues, so it'll be the first. Obviously, I think they'll probably deal with the more severe extreme cases first and come to yours when you can. If you're not in danger of harming yourself or anyone else, they probably won't come to you. But if you're in danger of harming yourself or somebody else, then they will come to assist you. But it's just I think that's how they work, sort of thing. But it's difficult in both of them. It's not a judgment of how you've acted in those moments, because abuse is one of those moments where you can't always. It's difficult to justify how you'll become because of how involved in abuse you can get. Sometimes you end up mimicking the person that's abusing you because you naturally are around them, and so naturally, even when you're not around them, you can be still aggressive in moments because you might be thinking about how they would react to something rather than how you would want to react to something. So it's a very natural coming away from abuse to still have these emotions that you don't know how to express because you don't want to attack anyone else, especially your children or anyone around you. You don't want to harm anyone else with whatever abuse you've been in, especially if you were a child coming out of abuse. That's the toughest one. If you've been a child that suffered from abuse and you're trying to work out why things aren't the way they should be, because you're a child saying this is how it's supposed to be, and then this adult's done something to you that no, this is not how it's supposed to be. And then suddenly, if you're left to deal with things by yourself, and you're not really a child, you're probably an adult by this point, but what I mean is you'll feel like a child coming from it, because suddenly you're having to learn how to do everything that hard way. How you were supposed to do things because of what you've been taught so far about being an adult, but you're having to work out in your own mind what's right for you, because you're then having to express your emotions or try not to express your emotions if it means not having to because sometimes facing emotions is tricky. We don't want to open them up and be a problem to other people, but at the same time, sometimes I don't know about anyone else, but my habit is usually, or has been, or in my past, has been to bottle things up. If I feel angry, if I feel upset, just bottle it up. Don't tell anyone. No one has to know that I feel these things. If it means I brush it off and pretend it didn't happen, I'd rather that than people having to face me when I'm actually emotional. And I do that a lot. But then obviously what ends up happening, it builds up. The problem is when it builds up and builds up and builds up, what I find, I go numb. And then I find it the opposite way around. It doesn't matter what anyone does. It could be, someone could say my hair looks funny, and suddenly I'll go in on myself and go, oh, what does that mean? And then I'll think about it. I probably won't say anything straight away that it annoyed me. I'll think on it for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And then before I know it, the thing that I'm crying about had nothing to do with that. It was something completely different. It had nothing to do with the hair thing. It was just, I felt low because it had something to do with something else from my past. I've connected the two somehow, and somehow, it might not, so what if somebody says my hair doesn't look good today? So, it's not an issue. I just have to brush my hair. Okay, I'll have to wash my hair when I get home. That's the only thing, when you think about what you would do to change things, well, if my hair looks a mess, I can brush it. If my hair isn't the way I want it, I can always have a shower and make sure it's clean. And so who cares if it's messy so long as it's clean, who cares if it's brushed so long as I like it, at the end of the day, how I feel about my hair is important more than what another person's feeling is about my hair. And that's the bit you want to remember. So to get out of it, it's not what other people think about you at the end of the day, it's what you think about yourself. And it's those thoughts that you're trying to change in yourself when you come out of abuse, because you're so used to other people telling you how you should be, how you should feel, how you should act, what you should do, that it's difficult to go, actually, no, that's not how I feel. That's not what I want to do. I want to do this. But instead of being angry, or it doesn't, even if you are a bit angry, so what? If as long as you're not harming anyone, okay, you're angry of something, because we all get angry at times. But it's knowing, if I'm getting angry, you know what? I'm going to rock out to heavy metal for a bit. I'm going to put on a Limp Bizkit song and just rock out to Limp Bizkit, because I know that's going to make me feel good. I know at the moment I'm feeling angry. When once I put it on and I feel the song and I hear the lyrics, I suddenly go, yes, this is how I feel right now. And no, I can't control it right now, so I'll have my own space. I won't be around anyone else doing this. Take myself away, just put on a Limp Bizkit song and just mush out. Because that's all I want to do in that moment, and it doesn't make me more angry. People always think I'm getting angry and angry. No, I'm actually just expressing how I feel in that moment. And sometimes the songs bring it back. I go, oh yeah. But I'm not actually always angry when I listen to Limp Bizkit. So there's been times I've also been sat and chilled, listening to Limp Bizkit, and somebody goes, how can you just sit and calmly listen to Limp Bizkit? I'm like, I'm okay. I'm nice and calm and peace. It's actually cheering me up. It's funny lyrics. I relate to the song, and right now I'm not angry at all, and I'm actually enjoying it from a different perspective. So there's two sides, and when I'm dancing, I'm feeling it. But sometimes I don't always feel it. Sometimes I feel jovial about it. I'm like, just try and mimic the song in some way, and then go from there. But obviously I won't do that because it would be copyright, so I don't want to get into trouble for copyright. So avoiding that completely and trying to do it off of SoundCloud. So hopefully the music that comes up is fresh. And again, I'm not trying to copy people. I'm not going to mention the artists, because then I'm not, if they want to still do their own thing with it, I'm not taking it from them, sort of thing. I'm just doing it for charity and to keep fit and to try and raise money for Fear Free. And hopefully we can start to get more services and extend more services for abuse and people who have been a victim of abuse emotions, and maybe extend the counselling service, the free counselling services that you get from Fear Free. Fear Free is only in Wiltshire, Somerset and Dorset at the moment. Would be quite nice if we could raise money to extend it to other areas of the UK, and maybe more if there is, room for other places. But just at this moment we're focusing on the UK, and abuse is one of those things. It's hard to see the opposite side of things when going through abuse. You can be told many things when you're going through abuse, and one of them is finances. And I found, so when you're going through abuse, financially, you'll be told you can't spend certain things, or that if you say you've got luxury, you've got money, yeah, you divide it up. You're told to do the sensible thing, divide your money up. Bills, food, rent, you divide it all up. That's the most important ones, right? Food, rent, bills. Those are the three things. So after those things, then comes luxury. Well, depending on how much you earn, you don't always have a lot. You don't always get loads. But then, if you have a job, then you may be able to opt for doing overtime, which most people do. They go into overtime and they do overtime. They're happy to do that because that means they get more money. But it also becomes more stress because they also have to go into work and do more work. But at the same time, as the result, they get a bit more money. So that would be that. But if you're self-employed or on benefits, that might be a bit more difficult to do, because obviously you still want to do things like everybody else, but you're having to wait until you've got enough money to be able to do it. So sometimes doing the luxury thing of, I don't know what, whatever it happens to be. I mean, last year I was on food banks all the time because, I was on food banks all the time. And that was the struggle. I don't know if I'll be facing it again in April. I'm hoping not, because I'm actually in credit this time. I'm saying this because I got cleared some debt not so long ago. I actually got some compensation from the sexual abuse that I That's why I know about Fear Free. And it was a lot of money, but I have declared it to the job centre, so they already know about it. So they told me not to worry about it. It was put through a trust fund, and so it is legitimate. So I have been buying things with it, obviously, and it has gone down a little bit. I'm now in credit with most of my bills and my rent, so I'm on the opposite side of things. And so anyway, just to say, abuse is one of those things we're not sure how to handle. But when it comes to finances, sometimes and what I found with money, money comes and goes. It always does. I've never been too rich that I've been able to buy lots of luxury things, and I've never been too poor that, well, I have been poor in moments, and it has been times when it's been really hard, like last year. I still went out, but I didn't buy any drinks and stuff like that because I didn't always have the money to. Even now, sometimes I don't always buy drinks because it depends on what I've spent in the week. But I am a bit more fortunate. I am able to save some money back for certain things. So now I can put at least a tenner towards them somewhere. I'm my sister's carer, so I also do care work for my sister. So I am there most of the time as well. So I have some funding from that. But again, it's not a lot, and what I do with it is what I can with it. So I usually put that towards food because that's what will help you put towards food. Whatever I've got at the end of the day, whether it's small or more, I put towards luxury. But obviously, sometimes things get put on the back burner, like clothes But I don't, at the moment, I'm at the point where I don't actually need any new clothes. I've got plenty of clothes, so I'm happy for now to go as long as I can without buying any new clothes. So I can make do. I've got a few luxuries in place where I can, and my rent is my internet is pretty cheap. I've made sure I put on a lower tariff than I usually had. I am using Spotify at the moment, but when I'm not paying for it, I just stick to the adverts. It might be annoying. I get it is annoying having adverts on Spotify and YouTube and Netflix as well. But what I found is I still get the entertainment. But for Netflix, I'm only paying £5, so I still get to see what I want to see. But it just means I have to watch an advert. It's not much, and it sounds like, oh god, you have to watch the advert. But sometimes I don't mind it, because sometimes I might be like, I'm watching something, I really need to go to the toilet, and it sounds odd, I don't think to go when I'm watching it, and then the advert comes on, I go, oh yeah, I need to go to the toilet, and then I just go to the toilet. So I'm used to adverts. I'm a 90s girl, there was always an advert on somewhere. People used to get annoyed with them, but to me it was also a good reminder when you're watching something to get up and do something. So if an advert comes on, it's just like, oh, put the kettle on for a bit and make a cup of tea. So sometimes an advert isn't a bad thing depending on what you're watching. Some things are quite intense, and a little break between them kind of just gives you that, okay, yeah, let's get up and put the kettle on and think about why this man just murdered a bunch of people, and then go, what? So when it comes to stuff like that, so anyway, this is what I've learned since that. But obviously when I've been under abuse and stuff, you get told how to do things their way. So yes, you're saving money, but say they want to do something and you don't have the money for it, and they pressure you and pressure you and pressure you to put money towards it, even though you go, I can't right now, I have no money for it. Oh, I'll pay for you. And you go, oh, okay, thank you, if you don't mind. And then they do you owe me money now. And you're like, oh, well, okay. But you said it was free, and I told you I was struggling. No, it's not, you owe me money. And then I go, hang on, why do I owe you money? You didn't say I owed you money. I get, obviously, if you said I can pay for you and you'd pay it back a different day, that's fine. But in my head, I'd still go, actually, I still don't want to lend it. I don't want to borrow it because of that reason. So if I say no to borrowing, no, it's not because I don't want to do the event. It's I don't want to have someone hold over me that I have money that I owe them. Because suddenly I'm in that section But people go, oh, you owe me money because I paid for you to do this. Even though I have explained to them I have no money right now, I'd rather sit out of the activity than have to participate if it means that I don't have to owe anyone. I don't want to owe anyone. I don't want to be in debt. These are the things I'm trying to avoid right now. But being in debt at times and being in that situation, it's very humiliating when people do the, oh, I can lend you money. And then you explain you can't even give it back to them in the next month. You don't know what's going to happen. So trying to borrow money is a bit difficult because borrow money means you owe someone, and once somebody you owe someone, that's it. They put you in the, well, if you don't pay me back by a certain time, I know you're going to be this. It's like, well, no, it has nothing to do with that. And you know, you have friends that go, oh, well, you pay me back whenever you can, and then you forget about it as well, which is a problem. If you don't put it down that you've got something that you owe someone, you can just go, oh, do I actually owe somebody? Oh, I can't remember. And then you go, oh, well, and then, so there was times, I was at the pub last year and a friend bought me drinks. She didn't mind. She said, I said, do I owe her money at times? And she goes, oh, no, you're fine. So I didn't think of it. But then one time I did have, I think, a cold weather payment last year at some point, and I went, oh, I could buy you drinks now because I've got a bit of money. And then she goes, no, don't worry about that. Don't buy me drinks. And I was like, okay. So I was like, oh, I've got a good friend here. She doesn't mind. But I was like, why wouldn't you want me to pay for your drinks? Even though you pay for my drinks every time I'm out, which I'm grateful for. But don't feel like I can't buy you a drink when I do have money. And obviously I do owe you money, so do you need me to pay you back for the money you've paid for a drink for? She's like, oh, no, I'm fine. I'm happy with that. Don't worry. Money's not an issue for me. I was like, how was that? I didn't understand completely what she meant by that. I was like, but money's not an issue? That's not the sentence I've ever heard before. And I'm going, okay, maybe it's not an issue for you, but for me it was like I don't want to have that over my head. So my head's going, what's she after? So, but maybe it was such a good gesture, and so I've kept it as it was a good thing that she did, and I did thank her for it. But when it's the opposite way around, so when somebody's abusing you, they tend to do we'll give you money for free. We'll give you money for the thing they've begged you to do, sort of thing. And then you go, well, I can't afford it, or I can't go. And then they go, oh, I'll pay for you. I'll do this. And then they say, don't worry about it. I'll pay it. Don't worry, I'll cover it. And you go, okay. And then later on they guilt trip you that you still need to owe them. That's when I get a bit, because if they had led with the, oh, I'll pay you, but you pay me back a different time, I would have been able to make the decision, oh, no, it's fine, I still won't opt for it, because even if I could pay it at a later date, I may not be able to, so therefore I'd rather not. And if you go to the event, you enjoy it, but I'll find my own way of making entertainment. It is a shame. It does mean I miss out on a few live events. I mean, there's a few artists on this year. I've seen them come up on Facebook and I'm going, oh, I really want to go. But the likelihood of me getting round to it and actually going is very slim on the finances I have. So I just make do with what I can, and do my own thing. Sorry, this video went on longer than I meant. This was just meant to be about, I'll try and do another one. But, yeah. Anyway, this thing is to do with first aid. Not first aid, Fear Free. That's the charity I'm trying to raise money for, and I'm trying to do a Dance A Thon. But I'll start the videos at 10 to 20 minutes. Have breaks in them as well, because obviously I do get tired quite quickly when I'm dancing, so I might have to sit down in moments, but I will aim to keep myself stood up and dancing. Yeah, that's my aim. Sorry I went a bit longer than normal. I will post this obviously this is tonight I'm posting it, but you'll see this tomorrow, as I'm trying to keep Facebook free of too many videos, because I don't want to bombard everyone with videos of me dancing and doing stuff. So I'm being aware of how many videos I'm putting up on Facebook, and then when I do it live, it'll literally be for 10 to 20 minutes for the first day every other day until I build it up, obviously, and then go from there. And if and comment on them. Let me know how I'm doing. If you feel I need to learn more, I could I could try and learn dances in between videos so that I've got a bit more rhythm going. But whatever, I could even do a video on me learning how to dance if you would rather that than anything else. And I could do some videos of learning how to dance, and it's just me trying to do the actions to learning how to dance and things like that. So go from there. But either way, I'm going to be dancing, and I'm going to try and do this more often. Anyway, thank you very much. I'm going to go now. Thank you. Bye.